I'm so glad you decided to stop by. Women Igniting Now is an organization geared toward the issues that we face as women, from rape to divorce to molestation, you name it, we talk about it. I'm so glad that God has given us the ability for us to get together and for there to be a forum where we can come together and talk about our failures and issues. Listen, stop by anytime. Reach us on Facebook. We're here on Tuesdays, and we talk about our testimonies, but most importantly, we talk about our failures and we thank and praise God for our successes. And I always tell you, the best that we will ever be is what we allow each other to become. God bless you. Good morning. Welcome to the Win Show. I'm so glad you decided to tune in. I have a wonderful guest with me today. Her name is Ciara Pettaway, and we're going to talk about a discussion that every woman don't want to miss. So come right back. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to the Win Show. I'm so glad I have my wonderful guest sitting here today. Welcome, Ciara.
Hi.
So glad you came on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's been a blessing to have you with me. And we're going to talk about something that's so awesome. How many women really want to talk about being a single mom and actually making it work? Tell me a little bit about you.
So, my name is Ciara. I am a single mother of 3, ages 6, 4, and 3. Yes, I have ladders. I'm 30 years old, again, single, living all alone. I have actually my mom, she lives with me, she helps me tremendously. And I'm just here trying to make it just like everyone else. I look at singlehood and it's more than being a single parent per se. It's more of a, yes, we're directing our children to be better than what we were. We're directing our children to live flourishly more than what we had our hands on. So, I'm just out here trying to make it.
That's good. I think one of the things I can relate to what you're talking about, my daughter, I for 5 years, the first 5 years, my oldest daughter, was single. And I know some of the challenges, I know some of the tests and trials that I went through. And I think one of the greatest things that kind of stayed on my mind, because she's a girl, I always wanted to, and I still want to be that example for her. What was it like for you, knowing that here you are, you're thrust into it? Because you got to remember something with motherhood. Sometimes you're not given a choice. In other words, you don't know how your circumstances are going to turn out. But guess what? Moms sometimes are thrust into it no matter what. What was it like for you, understand when the concept came to be, I'm going to have to do this?
Yeah, so I originally was trying to hold on to something that just was toxic and just wasn't going to work. So when I finally got that realization that, enough is enough, we're not going to do this. Right. And we just each have to go our separate ways and just, again, co-parent and make this work. It was scary. Absolutely scary. Scary also because I didn't want to follow in the same footsteps as my mother.
Okay.
So my mother was also a single parent. And you look and you're like, of anything that I want to do, I don't want to do it how mommy did it. You know what I mean? So being able to sit back and just like, you know what, gotta understand that you're putting me here in this situation because I've already seen it. So what is it that I can do differently to make sure that when my kids see it, they are not looking, and when they're 30, saying, here we go again, another cycle. So I'm trying to break that cycle. I'm trying to make my kids understand that although there may be trials and tribulations that come, that we can overcome everything that's thrown our way, because it's just God trying to get our attention. So I'm here, I understand, I hear you. What you need me to do, lead me.
I understand. I can remember a time as you were talking, I literally went back in my mind, and I'm married by this time, but still, like I said, as a mom, you're thrust in there. And I remember saying to my pastor one time, I can't do this. Like, it was 3 daughters, overwhelmed Ciara, like nothing like I've ever seen before. And I said to my pastor, you know what? I need you to take my kids, because I just felt like the weight of it was just so heavy. And she said to me, I'm not going to take your kids, but I'm going to teach you how to raise your kids. Who's been a mentor in your life that you could say, you know what, that person, when I felt like giving up, because we all have those moments, let's be honest, right? When you feel like giving up, who's been that person to say, no, Ciara, holding up your arms and telling you, you can do this?
It's funny, my mentor is my older sister. Michaela is my rock. She is a person that no matter what I've done, situations, that's the first person that I call. Even when it's like the most shameful thing. I'm just like, you know, Michaela, before you even say something, just hear me out. You can yell at me after, but just hear me out and let me know that you got my back regardless.
Right.
So she is just, she's awesome. She's a great listener. And I think at times that's what single parents really need. They just need somebody just to listen, you know, because we're single, we're alone, you know, so who do we talk to? Sometimes you can't always have that child talk. There's things that you can't talk to them about. So it's like either you're journaling, but sometimes you just need that live person that you can just be like, you know, this is what's going on. This is what I've been going through. This is what I've been thinking.
Right.
How can you help me? You know, and even sometimes not even how can you help me? Just listen to me.
Listen to, yeah, that makes sense. What are some of the strategies you accomplished, because you're a full-time mom, but yet you work full-time?
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage it all?
Well, the first thing that I can say is try not to control everything. Once you try to, or you know that, you know, there are going to be hiccups. Mm-hmm. You know, you wake up and you have your day planned, but 9 times out of 10, it never goes how you have it planned. And that's for any parent.
It's true.
But, you know, just being able to understand that there will be something that goes wrong. But can you have another idea of how you can get around, you know, things that may hiccup. But just having to set a schedule. You know, I have my kids, they know 8 p.m., that is lights off, you know. And it's funny, when I talk to my sister, she's like, don't you think that's a little early? And I'm like, no, because I know they're not going to go to sleep, but that gives them time just to wind down, get their heart rate, you know, in the right place where they can just calmly just go to sleep. It's not like, I told you to go to bed, I told you to go to sleep, you know, you got to wake up in the morning, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's just like, you know, let's all calm down. Let's get, you know, get in our zone, our zens, and just, you know, just breathe. So just being able to set boundaries. You know, it's funny, I was thinking and I'm like, why can't I give every aspect of my life 100%? Is that possible?
Yes.
You know, like, is it possible to give my job 100%? Is it possible to give my kids 100%? Is it possible to give my ministry 100%? And when you ask other people, they say, no, you gotta have 100% is the total. Okay. But I honestly feel that each part of your life is that 100%. You know what I mean? So I can give my job that 100% because they know that, you know, there's times that I just have to cut off. So you just have to be able to set boundaries in every aspect where you'll then be able to feel like you've accomplished something at the end of the day.
That's good. You know, it's interesting. You are very focused. Just even sitting here listening to you, and I know personally, you're very focused. You can hear the confidence. You can hear the assurance. But I have to ask the question, like anything else, when distraction comes your way, what do you do? What do you do?
Because it creeps in.
Right. It has a way of kind of coming in very subtly, right?
Very subtly. It's coming in, next thing you know, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be here right now. How did this happen?
Exactly.
That's a good question. I can say that when I see or feel that there's a distraction coming, I kind of just pull back. And I'm just like, Ciara, is this going to help you get to the next step? You know, if it's a situation where at the end you're just really looking, you're like, how is this benefiting me? You know, how is this adding value to any of the different parts or pieces that my life is tied into? Does that, if it doesn't add value to it, then there's really no reason for me to be doing it.
I understand. Wow, that's very interesting. So let me ask you, how do you feel that social media plays a role in, you know, being single moms and mothers trying to do everything that they have to do? Because sometimes, you know, I don't really go on Facebook that much and Instagram. I only look at my notifications of different things as I write every morning. But you ever thought about maybe starting something on social media where mothers can literally tap into and just see, well, it's almost like having a recipe. A single motherhood recipe. This is what you do. If you do this and add this, then that's what, like you see the fruit of it. Yeah, how do you think that play a role?
So I actually had to cut myself off of Facebook. I was in a situation where it just was not adding any value to me. And I was like, you know what? I can't have you anymore. So that was one of the first steps of me being like, not even step. That's one of the first things I did when I realized that enough was enough and I had to like really just get my life in order. So Facebook had to go away. I do still have an Instagram. Pictures are my life. So selfie real quick. So I have an Instagram, and I recently just started a blog where I am, just sharing my testimony and letting women know. Women, not even just women, men, boys, girls, just letting you know that you're worth it, regardless of anything that you've done, any shame that you feel, you're worth it. There is someone out there for you. You're out there for yourself. You don't have to always think about having a person validate who you are, but just validate who you are, just know that, I'm beautiful, I know that I can succeed. I know that anything that I have my eyes set on, that I can make it. There's an end goal with everything, and just knowing that I can reach that goal if I just keep taking one step at a time. Just go through the process to get to where you need to go.
That's good. You know what? We're going to come back with more with Ciara Pettaway, and she's going to share some more with you. We'll see you after the commercial break. Show, and I have my wonderful guest with me, Ciara Pettaway. A wonderful discussion on what it's like being a single mom, the challenges, the joy of it. So welcome back to the show, Ciara. Again, I'm glad that you decided to come on the show. But I do have to ask a question. There are different times of being a mom where we go through mommy guilt. Feeling like you didn't make the best decision, feeling like, I could have did this differently. Have you ever felt mommy guilt?
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
I almost feel it on a daily basis.
Okay.
Okay, so again, my kids are ages 6, 4, and 3.
Okay.
So I think I'm feeling it more with my 3-year-old because I was kind of more parent in Peyton and Sebastian's life. Okay. And I say that just to say that with them, I had their father, who was also helping me at that time. And it was easier to come home and play the role at that time. And I didn't have to play good cop and bad cop.
Okay.
Now it's like separating the two is really hard. And, sometimes Peyton will come to me and she's like, Mommy, that's just really not fair. And I'm like, I don't know what else you want me to do. Like, you gotta sit down. Like, I told you to sit down, you gotta sit down.
Exactly.
But it's like not being able to differentiate between, being that disciplinary person and also being the one that's jumping around with you, pillow fights and everything else. But with Brielle, I have my mom and my stepfather have kind of taken her under their wing. So she is so babied and spoiled by them. Okay. And I see that, I think that because Sebastian is my only son and he is missing that father figure per se, I tend to baby him more. And I know it's probably not the best thing, I know. And I've been trying to I told you no, you gotta sit down, okay, here's the chocolate. But,
kind of wean them off
just a little bit. But just trying to set that balance again. Yes. Everything is with balance. Everything is with setting boundaries, letting them know how far they can go. And Peyton definitely pushes the limit. She knows kind of like, you gave me an inch, I'm just going to go a little bit more and see if you're going to see it and give me. But, because I have to be the provider, as well as be the good cop, as well as be the bad cop.
Right.
It's kind of, you know, I have to go to work in order for you to eat,
Right.
in order for you to go to school, in order for you to have clothes on your back, in order for everything. And, you know, you want to do dance, you guys want to do soccer, you want to, so there has to be a way where we're getting those funds, because it just doesn't appear for you to, you know. So, you know, I get the guilt where it's like I missed the first steps, and I missed, Peyton lost her first tooth, I missed that. And, you know, I missed almost all of their milestones per se up until now. And it, you know, it's difficult, and I have those conversations with my oldest sister. I'm just like, you know, I know that they don't understand it now, that what I'm doing for them at this point is going to help cultivate who they are. And when they, like my son, when you see a woman, you know how to respect her, because I'm going to let you know that you're going to respect mommy. You're going to respect any other woman that's around you. So having to be able to kind of show him the way that way, as well as try to like give him space to grow as a man, as a boy, you know, that's hard. But just trying to figure it out, just knowing that at the end of the day, I don't have all the answers. Because if there was someone who had the playbook, I would be the first person to buy.
I think everybody
I mean,
bought
they
it by
would be
now.
a millionaire, you know? Like, you know? But it's just being able to know and realize that, you know, you're not going to always have all the answers. It's trial and error. You know, what may work for you might not work for me, because you have to know the curve of your child too. So, like, I know my son Sebastian, he's very good with his hands. Peyton is very creative. She's my inspirational person, the one that's always dancing around, always has to have music on, always has to be in the mix. She goes on and on and on and on. And Brielle is more of my artist, so she's always drawing. I've just actually got on her today about drawing on my walls. And I was just like, you know, you have paper for a reason. The crayons don't belong on the wall. She's like, but it's beautiful, Mommy.
Yes, it is.
I'm like, it is, but not on the wall. But in those moments, it's like, you kind of gotta think, is this worth me really getting upset and angry? And, you know, so being able to kind of have that balance again, that's just my word. It's just balance. Just having the boundaries with the balance. Just being able to know that, you know, you kind of got to pick your battles, basically. Especially with the mommy guilt. I just got to pick my battles. I have to know that, you know, there are going to be times where I'm just not going to be present. I have work, I have ministry, I have to do what I have to do to, first of all, cultivate who I am. Because if I'm not cultivated, if I'm not strong, if I'm not whole, then how can I then pour into my children to ultimately get them to be whole? You know, obviously not by me myself. They also have a creator who also, you know, establishes their life in them as well. But it's just being able to let them see that, you know, mommy's going to church, so you're going to church too. Like, you don't have the option to stay home. You don't have the option to feel like, I don't want to go today again. You're not old enough for that yet. So you're just, come on, travel on. But just being able to being one with yourself, knowing who you are, and being comfortable with who you are, because I can be completely honest with you and transparent, that I did not always feel this way.
That's interesting, because that's actually where I was going to go next. I was going to say, we're looking at the beautiful Ciara. You're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
But guess what? This was not always the look of Ciara. So somebody watching even could be saying to themselves, I understand that way. Because, you know, sometimes they say if you hold on, if you can get to the other side, you have definitely gotten to the other side. But what was it like before you got there? I understand you're a single parent now, I understand things didn't work out. But the woman, Ciara, the impatient mom, the mom that was like, okay, now listen, tell me about that one. Tell me about that Ciara.
She was a mess. And she, you know, honestly, I can't say that I fully arrived, because I'm still a mess. Still have my moments, but I kind of have grown into patience, because I did not have that all the time. I was always looking to see if someone was watching, like, are my kids bothering you? I told you to sit down, you have to be quiet. But they're like, but you're not them. I need you to understand that I told you to sit down. But it's like, watching what other people's reactions are to your kids, and it's almost to the point where I was trying to feel for other people before they got a chance to feel it. So I'm already looking for what the worst outcome could be before they could even say anything. That I would kind of be like, they'll probably think this, so I need you to go here. Type of situation. So it's like, again, wasn't the best scenario, because at the end of the day, I have to let kids be kids. I have to let them grow in the correct stages, so that it's not a situation where, like, my oldest she's a super helpful person. And I want her to understand that although you're helping mommy a lot, I still need you to be 6. Although you're helping me get Brielle dressed, you're helping me get Sebastian dressed, you're helping me cook dinner, you're helping me, get breakfast together, everyone sit at the table and eat, and you're helping me, but I need you to still be a child. So that's why I still try and cultivate that, you're going to go do dance, you're going to go do this, you do that, you'll do that, we'll color together, we'll sit on the floor, we'll all color in, and like on the paper, Brielle.
Right.
But no, we're all coloring.
Not on the wall.
Exactly. We're all doing something together so that she can still feel like a child. And I think my oldest sister kind of relates to her in that aspect, because she was that for my mom. She was that one who helped us with everything. She was the one that when my mom was going to college, she was home with us. She was the one cooking for us. She was the one that was sitting and helping us with our homework and stuff of that nature. So I just need her to understand that, yes, you're helping me, but you still have to grow. There's a stage, and that's why we have stages.
Right. So what does Ciara do for Ciara? Where is Ciara when Ciara needs a moment? Grandma has the kids, you're not at work, but what does Ciara do for Ciara?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What does Ciara do for Ciara? Honestly, I don't really get much of that. I think my Ciara doing for Ciara is my being able to release, being able to come to church and freely just, give of myself for everything that God has done for me and what He's doing for me. That to me is why on a Tuesday night, my mom will sometimes stay home if my stepfather is working at night, and she'll still stay home with the kids and just be able to give me that oneness, that I can be able to freely not have to always look over my shoulder and see what the kids are doing and whatnot, and be able to just have that one-on-one time. That to me is something that's so important to me. It's something that is so detrimental for my growth that then grows into my children as well. Being able to just have that would be mine.
You talk a lot about your faith. You talk a lot about your church and ministry and how important it is. At what point in your life did the hourglass begin to turn? And as it begins to, so you know how the hourglass turns and the sand begins to flow? Where were you? At what point in your life? Because I remember when a light bulb went off in my life and I was like, okay, this is what you've been saying to me all this time, God. At what point?
So it literally was 2.5 years ago. I had Peyton, I had Sebastian, and Brielle was just born. And my children's father had recently, literally that day, I'm getting text messages on a Sunday morning in church that he had just been arrested. Okay. And I was like, oh God, here we go again, type of moment. And at that moment, I literally was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm not bringing my children to a correctional facility to see their father because, first of all, we're not married. I'm not bringing that into their life. They still don't even know where he is. So got to a point where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. There's more out there for me than for me to continually just sit there and just waiting for someone to get their act together when they obviously don't want to. You can't force it onto people. So I was just like, I have to do this for them. I have to do it for me. I have to do it for other women who are or could potentially be in a situation where they're sitting around waiting for someone to quote unquote get their act together. And I need people to understand and to know that this isn't it for you. You know, you don't have to settle. You don't have to settle for something that isn't for you. You know, don't try to make yourself into something. Don't try to mold yourself into a circumstance because you don't want to be uncomfortable. You know, there's comfortability in being uncomfortable.
Right.
So I'm okay not fitting into that jacket. You know what I mean? I'm okay not fitting into the mold that some people may want to put onto me because they think you're a single parent, so there's certain things that you just can't do anymore. And my mom and my stepfather are always pushing me to do stuff, but it's just not my season right now. I'm just not there. I'm focused on where I see God is trying to steer me to, and before I can move anywhere else until He tells me to move, I'm just staying straight.
That's awesome. That really, because I'm telling you, you'd be surprised how there are stigmas out there. When people say you're single, the next question is, well, why don't you get married? And it's really unfortunate that it's a stigma like that, because I love what you just said about making sure you're ready. That's not what I want right now. And your confidence in that, to me, it brings something that I think is to be acknowledged. Like, I think that is so awesome. And I remember being young. I remember having 3 kids, and yet I was married. But I'm just saying, having that confidence and having that fortitude to just go ahead and keep enduring, I have to commend you for that. I have to. But we'll be right back. So we're going to have to spend a little more time with Ciara. So please come back and join us. We'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Win Show. Again, my guest, Ciara Pettaway. We've had a wonderful time today, really honing in on a conversation and dealing with single moms and what it's like to handle the trials and the tribulations, but also the joy of being a single mom, okay? Ciara, we're getting ready to close on the show, and I really want you to look into that camera, and I want you to give somebody some words of encouragement. Let them know that they can still make it. Being a single parent, listen, there is no stigma because you can enjoy everything that God has for you. Look into that camera and speak to that woman that's watching the show.
I just need you to understand and to know that regardless of any situation that you're dealing with, anything that you've gone through before, reconcile with your past. Understand that although things may have happened, although things may have transpired, it's not the end-all be-all. You are great, you are beautiful, you are more than enough, you're more than a conqueror, and you can make it. You can make it, you can make it, you can make it. Love yourself, love others, and God will love you overall.
Again, thank you for joining the Win Show. I'll see you next week, but always remember our motto, the best that you will ever be is what we allow each other to become. See you next week. Bye.